Oh, hey, we're back, internet. Hey, Luke, how you doing?
What's up?
We're here, Luke, to discuss something that's very near and dear to your heart.
Very.
Yeah, as seen behind you, you have your Indiana Jones poster there. You love the man. You love that man with the adventurous man with the hat and the whip. Look at that, beautiful.
Absolutely.
All right, so you would be at least interested to know, as you found out today, that we are indeed, as it's been long rumored and speculated, we will be getting an Indiana Jones 5 coming in 2019, starring Harrison
We
Ford and
will.
directed by Steven Spielberg.
The Spielberg himself.
How do you like them
Thank
apples?
you, Lord.
Yeah, and not
If anybody's going
alone
to direct it, I mean, just to start off, if anybody's going to direct it, it needs to be Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree. And this is Disney. Disney is putting this out just like, they have Star Wars. A lot of people, I've talked to a few
It's like everything else.
Yeah, just like everything else. That's right.
Freaking Marvel, freaking Star Wars, freaking Inside Out.
The Inside Out.
Freaking what, Daredevil's about the only thing that they haven't gotten that hasn't been a huge success.
Yeah, right. I mean, Daredevil is them though, but it is crazy though that they're just going to be pumping all this stuff out there. I wonder if we're going to get Howard the Duck now. I mean, well, I guess we already got Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Jeez. But every George Lucas thing will now be coming to light.
You and Howard the Duck.
I love that movie, Luke. I just love that movie for some reason. But anyways,
Oh dear.
and so I know for a while we have our feelings about this. Mainly we were kind of scared about it because as we know, our feelings towards that fourth movie are not very great. And so
much fear I feel in you, Luke, about this movie.
Yes,
Will you be
Luke.
right, Yoda? Because there's a lot of fear in me.
All right. So it's one of those things where it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because like they're making a new one, and so like partially you're kind of like you're like he's so old, he's too old to do it, but then again, who else could possibly play Indiana Jones? And so it's kind of
I agree and I don't agree. Oh my gosh. Let's complete a sentence. I agree and I don't agree with you on what you just said. Because for me, I agree with you in that I think my biggest fear is that he's old. That to me is number one. He's very old. And with becoming older, you become a lot of things that you weren't when you were younger, including forgetful, including a lot more pessimistic about life.
we're gonna have an Indiana Jones just forgetting things.
I just meant that as an example of being old. But the thing that's actually pertinent to the movie is you become very pessimistic about everything, and your optimism melts away. And
God.
Well, let me condition that. If people listen to the Star Wars thing and can remember back to what I was saying, I liked his performance in Star Wars, but it shone through a little bit that he was older and didn't care as much about the movie. That was the way I felt about it. It wasn't that he did a bad job or anything. He didn't do the job that he did back in the day, or he could have done if he was, still that age now. He could have been a different person. And that to me is going to only be amplified now that he's probably a couple more years older since he filmed that scene, in Star Wars Episode 7. And I don't know if his passion is in Indiana Jones. I know you had mentioned that he wanted to make Blade Runner a while ago, and I would be totally down for a Blade Runner movie. I finally saw that movie a couple years ago and really enjoyed it. It's really weird, but a good movie. And, he did a good job in that movie, so I can see them rebooting that. But I don't know. He's getting so old. So many of these roles, I feel like he needs to accept his Clint Eastwood role where he scripts his own parts for old people, like Gran Torino, where it was like, okay, I'm old and I'm pessimistic about everything, so I'm just going to create a role like that. An old man with an old car to become friends with young people to make the movie fun, and it worked. And that's okay that you're old and pessimistic, because that's the movie that you gear yourself towards. Million Dollar Baby. That was a really successful, great movie because he geared it towards, what his strong suit is now that he's much older, like Harrison
Just
Ford.
being old.
I mean, it's part of life, and you just need to accept that as you become older, your parts in movies need to change. And the fact of the matter is, Harrison Ford keeps being put in these roles that he did a great job when he was younger in, but he's old now, and he doesn't fit the roles like he used to. I guess that's where my feeling is.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those things where, like, even in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, he was doing some stuff. You saw him kind of feebly swing on a rope, or was whip every now and then, and that was reasonably believable sometimes. Maybe not. I don't know. It's been a while. But, what I was I was talking to someone today, and I was saying, like, it's going to be one of those things where I feel like it's going to be a supporting actor's time to kind of be the physical person. Like, he's going to be probably teaming up with someone who's going to be really physical. Hopefully not a Shia LaBeouf. Maybe Short Round will come back. How do you feel about that, Luke? Short Round?
I don't know where he is in life now, so I'm not sure if he would fit
Dr.
well.
Jones. He's like grown up now. He's like, Dr. Jones. Okay, I'm sorry.
He looks exactly like it, but he's just 6 feet tall now.
Man, that was a racist.
Just like that.
Man, but
I'll let it slip.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I really do like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was so bad. I was blinded by it at first. I was like, it's kind of fun. Then I saw it again. I was like, no, it's bad. But like, I'm kind of hoping. To my
side.
Yeah, definitely. It's not a good movie at all. But I'm hoping that in the hands of Disney, some redemption at all can be had. Like, I feel like Star Wars, if like The Force Awakens was a very sentimental movie, and it definitely recaptured a lot of that sentimentality about how people feel about the franchise, and hopefully, and at least like what this one could do is at least give Indiana Jones a good goodbye. I hope this isn't a new trilogy we're setting up. I don't want that. All I want is a proper goodbye, not Indiana Jones like taking his hat away from Shia LaBeouf after getting married to Marion.
What would have been ideal, and what obviously they were trying to do with the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, was lead into a new generation where Shia LaBeouf would kind of take the hat and do movies that hopefully would make a bunch of money because of, nostalgia, and Indiana Jones was so cool back in the day, so why can't he be cool again? And clearly that didn't happen. But in an ideal world, an actor would have come along back when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was coming around and would have played the role that Shia LaBeouf played, and it would have been scripted correctly and directed much better, and we would now be talking about the sequel to Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, or whatever, the continuation of the story. In an ideal world, that's what it should be. Now we're dealing with the real world, in which Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is an abomination.
Dang it.
It's a movie that should have never... He knew I was going to say that.
Stupid real world.
And it's an abomination, and it's a world in which that movie shouldn't exist. And the people who made that movie have accepted that fact, I think. And I think we're going to go in a completely different direction, or at least I certainly hope we're going to go in a completely different direction with this movie. And I hope that's a direction in which things kind of come to a close. And I say that with reluctance, because that's not really what I want. I would have wanted someone like, I'm blanking on his name, Jurassic World, the one who was rumored.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. I really think someone like Chris Pratt, and I'm not saying Chris Pratt, but someone like him, could have done a really good job. Chris Pratt has really shown chops as an action hero, much like Dwight Johnson really moved into his role of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want there to be a Harrison Ford for this generation, and I don't see that there is right now. Maybe someone like Bradley Cooper, maybe he could do something like that. I can see him being good in action movies, but there's not that person right now, I think, that could replace the Blade Runner, the Han Solo, type of roles that, we got to see in the late 80s that were so good. And so, unfortunately, I agree. I think this should be a closing chapter on what was just an incredible trilogy with a period on the end that should just be erased.
Could you say we're approaching this new movie with a skittish optimism. Would you say
Skittish?
that a
I
skittish?
would say I'm not skittish to my optimism.
We're not skittish. We're
I'm
not.
fully enveloped in my optimism.
Oh, you're fully
I'm
optimized.
wrapped up in my blanket of optimism.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm more like I hope it's good. I just hope it's a good way to say goodbye. But I have two questions I want to ask you. I mean, with a not even a title here, not even anything, any information other than the fact that it's happening. It's a tough job to do to get in front of a microphone and speculate about a movie. But
We get
tell
paid
me,
the big bucks for.
no, yeah, what what legendary artifact do you or world or whatever do you think Indiana Jones should be going after this time?
I have a hard time saying a certain artifact. I think I could answer the question of what world I want him to be in, and maybe the artifact could come from that. I want to go back to the old world, and I want to a country like India that is not evolved. You know, a third world country, somewhere like the old movies, somewhere where we don't go to the 50s with the nuclear warhead and just ridiculousness. Like, I would like it to be more of a modern day, but set in a like third world part of the world.
Yeah, where there's not
You know
much
what I mean?
civilization. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're saying. It was
Where
kind of,
where he deals with tribes people who don't speak his language again. You know, with those kind of things. I want him to be in a place that is very unfamiliar to the audience. I don't want him to be in New York or London or Tokyo. Don't be in any of those places. Like, that's not what Indiana Jones is. I want him to be in a boat, and I want him to crash land on, you know, a mysterious island, and there's Kong Island, and there's a freaking tribe worshiping a
Crossover.
giant.
Let's do it.
Not really, but a place like Kong Island that's
Yeah.
freaking ridiculous. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want. I don't know what the artifact would be. That's a tough question, but
Things that it shouldn't be. Probably not Excalibur. Oh man, that would be horrible. Oh my gosh. Places
Yeah.
I don't want him to go. Space.
he goes to the round table.
Oh my gosh. This was it. This was
Space.
it. This is where it all happened. It's around here somewhere. Oh my gosh. He talks to lady in the water or whatever. He talks to Lady of the Lake.
I don't want him to be involved with pirates.
Yeah, I could do without the pirates. I really hope, because I feel like this is the obvious choice, and I hope it's not Atlantis. I feel like that's the obvious choice. I feel like there, like before Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was out there, maybe there was a video game. I'm not sure, but at least there was like a lot of fan speculation, like, oh, it's gonna be Atlantis, because like I don't know. I hope it's not Atlantis. Like, I don't want it. I've had enough of that.
Mysticism and underwaterness. That just, I don't know.
Yeah, leave
Doesn't
that
seem
for
like a
an
good
Uncharted
mix.
game. I don't know. Like, I feel like
That's BioShock.
oh yeah, that's right. I feel like Nathan Drake's the one who goes to the crazy places like Shangri-La and whatever, and Indiana Jones, like, it's best when he's like finding a thing. Like, even though like who knows what were those things in the Temple of Doom? Those stones? I don't even know. I wasn't even familiar
Yeah,
with
the Chocula or
Count Chocula.
Count Chocula stones.
Count Chocula's magic stones. There it is. Title of the new one. All right, another question. This question is a little insensitive, maybe. All right, so as we all know, in the filming of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Harrison Ford befell a terrible injury when he smashed his leg in the door of the Millennium Falcon. So, what ironic injury will happen to Harrison Ford on the set of Indiana Jones 5? That's the question. Is he going to get the whip tangled around his neck? Is the boulder going to go over him this time?
I wonder how much of the stunts he'll be doing. That I guess that might dictate the injuries.
Well, I don't know what stunt he was performing to have a door close on his leg. This is mean.
That's true. That wasn't in my list of things that happen as you get older.
Oh yeah, doors start closing on your leg.
You get clumsy.
Oh yeah.
Well, he has no business being up flying in an airplane.
No, yeah, that the whole airplane thing too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I wish him the best. I really hope he doesn't get injured on the set of Indiana Jones, but it's not looking too good. So Maybe he should
Let's
use
hope
his
there
mixed
isn't an
signals.
airplane scene and he's flying it and he crashes again.
Yeah, or if there's no automatic
Snake in the
closing
floor.
doors. Oh my god. But either way, yeah, I guess we're both optimistic enough about it. I mean, like I'm
George
looking forward
Lucas
to
was
it.
the one who directed Crystal Skull, right? Am I right?
I mean, like it was Steven Spielberg who directed it, but
But
I
Lucas
think
wrote on it.
I think
Is
it's
that what it
to
was?
an extent, to the extent that you can direct. Uh, George Lucas owned Lucasfilms, at least at the time. It's one of those things where I feel
Yeah.
like he was directing it, but was he really? Maybe
Yeah.
trying to, maybe taking a lot of bad advice from George Lucas
Looks
while
like
trying
it
to
took
maintain his
notes
friendship.
from the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah,
A little
there was
bit.
a lot of that. It felt like a prequel movie. I cannot recognize that as a Steven Spielberg movie. I just can't. That's a George has his fingerprints all over him, all over that
Apparently,
movie.
Bridge of Spies is really good, from what you said. I
I
haven't
loved
seen it
Bridge of
yet,
Spies.
but we can say Spielberg hasn't lost his touch.
No, Spielberg still got it. I mean, all the movies he made around them, like War Horse and Lincoln and yeah, Bridge of Spies, all quality movies. So I mean, yeah, it was definitely George Lucas, I think, pulling the strings. So yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like the fact that it's back at Disney, we have other producers, it's Steven Spielberg kind of more on his own devices. I feel like it'll be a lot better results than those gophers like looking like Jawas as the freaking car goes by. Woo! Man, that movie's so bad. How did it
Ants. The ants are what I always go back to. That's the point in the theater that I was like,
This is it.
"Are you kidding me?" That's where I looked over and whoever was sitting next to me, I don't remember. I was just like, "What is this? Is this really what they filmed?"
It didn't get you with the fridge. This fridge straight away.
It
I was
didn't
like,
hit me like everyone. Like looking back on it, it was ridiculous. But for some reason, that scene did not hit me like it did everyone else in the theater.
it's meant to be an awesome scene. It's meant to be
Yeah.
like, it's not meant to be ridiculous. It's meant to be like, yeah, when he steps out of that fridge and like puts on his hat, it's meant to be like, that's great. Classic Indiana Jones moment. But
Where there's no fallout from a nuclear warhead.
where he's not mangled into. All right, we can pick apart that movie for another entire podcast, which we might have to do. Who knows? I don't know. But anyways,
This movie comes out like they're saying it will, which I still kind of have my doubts. But if
What's
it does
happening?
come out, we're definitely going to revisit the old movies.
yeah, absolutely. It's like it's one of those things when Disney says they're putting out something and it's like it's confirmed. These are unless it's Tron 3. For the most part, when they say they're going to do something, it happens. It's not like Sony when they're like, "Oh yeah, we're making a Sinister Six movie. Here it comes. Oh, we're making a Aunt May movie. Here it comes." Or DC being like, "Oh, here we go, Sandman movie." Yeah,
Like Microsoft saying they're making a Fable movie. Is it a Fable game?
yeah, exactly. Like
Or Microsoft saying they're making a Halo movie? Jordan, don't get me started on how many things were confirmed that didn't come out.
Oh man, we should have a podcast just based on things that were for confirmed that didn't come out.
Confirmed but denied.
The disappointment cast. Anyways, that's
Exactly.
all I wanted to say about it. I wanted to talk to you about it because I knew you have some feelings and I have some feelings too. But anyways,
I just think the magic can't come back that I experienced in my childhood.
nah, it's gone. Sorry, Luke. No more magic.
No
It's
more
over.
magic in the world.
All you have to look forward to is grumpiness and forgetfulness and doors closing on your leg.
Terrible.
That's all you got, buddy. I'm sorry. But anyways, yep. We'll see you next time. I maybe sooner than Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, or maybe not. But anyways,
Oh yeah.
enjoy life. See ya.